news. Breath gives life to all the world. Hear me, I am small and weak. I need your strength and wisdom. Let me walk in beauty and make my eyes ever behold the red and purple sunset. Make my hands respect the things you have made, and my ears sharp to hear your voice. Make me wise so that I may understand the things you have taught my people. Let me learn the lessons you have hidden in every leaf and rock. I seek strength, not to be greater than my brother, but to fight my greatest enemy, myself. Make me always ready to come to you with clean hands and straight eyes. So when life fades as the fading sunset, my spirit may come to you without shame.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank
you. Thank you, everyone. I think it's time with that beautiful, beautiful song of praise. Thank you, Bunny Sings Wolf, for that opening. Hello, everyone. I'm Noelle Marshall, and I am going to be host tonight, along with Kate Roberts, as she welcomes Bunny Sings Wolf. And I just want to give you a welcome right now. And before we introduce Bonnie a little bit more, I want to tell everyone a little bit about the Co-Creators Convergence. And let me just see if we can bring that up here. So stand by.
Since Noelle is down in Costa Rica, I'm going to go ahead and pick up the talking feather. Good evening, everyone.
Roberts, our Red Clover, who is going
to... Now I think it's official. She has handed me the talking feather. And so I want to just welcome you all to the Co-Creators Convergence and thank Bob and Noelle for bringing all these voices of light and inspiration to us on a weekly basis for what is it, 10 years now? Well, in a way, it feels like I've kind of been holding this secret. 22 years and 3 days ago, I had a devastating accident. I was told, oh, you're never going to walk or work again. And as it happened, Hill City Park and the Spring Creek there became my therapy center for a few months. And I got stronger by the day. And my first walk was to take the two block walk to downtown Hill City. And I saw a little souvenir shop named Just Dandy. And I went in, and this music playing was so sweet and beautiful. So I said, "What is playing?" It was White Haired Sunrise by a woman named Bunny Sings Wolf. I said, "Well, I would like to buy this music." Bought the music, took it with me, found it to be so healing, not only to me on the physical level, though, it was like I was seeing the world with new eyes for the first time, learning there were so many lessons in the songs, just about how to live in harmony with Mother and how the earth herself could help me heal. And I had such great results and loved the music so much. I thought the whole world had probably heard about Bunny Sings Wolf, but I wrote her a letter to tell her how her music had healed me. And I was so surprised when she wrote me back. And that started a 22-year friendship in which I've witnessed this woman just be of service in all sorts of ways, building websites, translating documents, just a keeper of stories. And I say it gets to me and Aya real quick. Me and Aya, the anagram for I am one. We all have our own stories, but I want you all to meet this woman and let her tell her story of how she has been a visionary songwriter for so long. And, I'd go visit her maybe for more CDs. Some of you may have gotten a CD from her. First time I met Pamela, I was like, "Oh, if we could just get your voices together." Anyway, there's just been so many times. And I said, Bunny, and so this very humble, hollow bone, spirit led, finally said, "Yes, I have this new app." And it's this wonderful space where it's just this interactive, nurturing space. And so she's finally ready to tell. I feel like I can finally share my 20-year secret. And with that, I'd like you to experience the presence of the witness of my friend Bunny. Bunny, I'll hand it to you, and thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you, Kate, for that wonderful introduction. Before we get started here, I'd really like to introduce Wayne Snellgrove. He's offered to help us get centered with a opening little prayer here. Wayne is, Wayne, I'll let you introduce yourself to everybody here. How's that? You know better than I.
Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you to inviting me. Thank you to this beautiful circle. My name is Kanipa Whitmackwa, Standing Bear, Soto Tribe, Fishing Lake First Nation, Saskatchewan, Caveman Treaty 4 territory, and been walking this red road with my elder for almost 30 years now. And so I'm a 60 scoop survivor. I'm not sure if you know what that is. The Canadian government came in. They stole me from my tribe. My mom on a reservation put me in an orphanage, went to foster care, and then was adopted out and sold to a white American family, and then found my way back in 03. But I really started walking the red road in the early 90s. And so yeah, this is tonight's the culmination of 30 almost 30 years of prayer, and I'm happy to share a little bit, share an opening prayer with you all. So I'm going to do it in the traditional way. If you have any smudge here, I offer. If you would like to smudge yourself, as my elder would say, that would be good. We can tell the health of the community, he says, by the number of smudge pots going and just looking around and get that. It really smells like life, right? It really smells like love and life and all those beautiful things. So if we could, if you want to volunteer and also that would be good. So and we'll get started in the usual way. My traditional way, I'll be speaking a little bit of my language, translating in English, and then we'll open up the space in an absolutely beautiful way. I got a little help from above and a little guide, a little Mother Earth medicine right here. They call it tobacco to help kind of lead us in this beautiful way, this beautiful time for this beautiful circle. So. Richi Agana to all my relations. Chi Megwich, thank you. That was on me. I love you. We love you. Kitchimanity, great spirit creator. Thank you for this day. Thank you for our life. Thank you for our circle and thank you for our breath. We are grateful for our last breath and we are hopeful for our next. And we live in that beautiful place in between. We come here tonight in circle. We mean no harm in what we do. We come here in a good way. We come here in a sacred way. We come here to listen in a sacred way. Wonka pick to be in a sacred way and to honor all these people in this circle. And we invite all nations, circles, and tribes to be here, both seen and unseen. Let us thank those that have given us life today so we can share this life with the circle. The standing nations, the ones that offer us breath. Let us say thank you. To the fish people, the ones who look after and take care of the water. Teach us harmony and balance. We say thank you for the water. For the wind, the ones who teach us how to live in harmony and balance with the wind and air. We say thank you. To the creepy crawlers and the slitheries, the ones who teach us so much about staying close and grounded to Mother Earth, we say thank you. To the four-legged circles and communities, the ones who offer so much to us and teach us so much about our humanity, we say thank you. And of course, to all other two-legged circle nations and tribes, we understand that you are our teachers as well. And we welcome you, seen and unseen, in a good and beautiful way. You're all welcome here. Let us remember we are all one, both seen and unseen. Let us remember that the ancestors, they hear what we're doing now. They understand what we are doing now. They understand that we are healing this tribe this time, and we have come to a troubled place and a troubled time, but we come here anyway in circle to pray with and for them, and not only for them, but for the next seven generations ahead, for we only borrow this earth from them.
Yeah.
So let us be gentle with our words tonight. Let us be gentle with our hearts tonight. And let us carry this message with us. When this ceremony is over, let us remember that is the ceremony within that we carry to others. That is most important. Aho. Aho.
Ilamaye.
Yeah.
Ilamaye. That's beautiful. So I would ask all of you, I already know the answer, but do you consider yourself passionate? Do you consider yourself caring? Are you a mom? Then you're a healer. We're all healers, and we all have the capacity to heal not just ourselves, but everyone that we touch with our smile, with our song, with our cooking, with our gifts of our hobbies, the way we spend our time, the way we keep our surroundings, the way we treat Mother Earth. We're all healers. And we live in a tremendously troubled times right now. There's a lot of sickness, a lot of darkness, and so many young people now have nowhere to turn to find their way. They spend all day on their phones, and it's separating everybody even more. And one thing that is a real heavy thing on my heart that really in another way excites me is that the whole world right now appears to be in unity. And that's one thing as healers and especially tribal people, we've lost a lot of unity. We used to live in the ways of oneness with Mother Earth on a day-by-day basis. And we had an understanding from our teachers and our elders about the beauty of oneness in the community and oneness with ourselves. And that seems to be on a global scale mostly lost. And humankind has tried everything for the last few centuries and fought a lot of wars in the name of peace, in the name of unity, in the name of harmony. And where has it gotten us? Here, which isn't a very good place. And it's a horrible place for the future generations in the next 15 years. If something doesn't change, there will be no way to turn back. So the unity is a good news and bad news, because if there's a unity on Mother Earth now in fear, which the tools and the things that we have developed, humankind has developed, has created this unity in fear, then my dream that I've had since I was a little child is totally possible, that there can be unity in love and unity in healing and health and wellness and beauty on this planet. The only people that are ruining it is us two-leggeds, and we're the ones out of harmony. So when we get back in harmony, and all of us decide to get back in harmony with that, and a lot of us are and have spent our lifetime trying to get back to understanding what works. And as Kate well knows, got a song called Love is a Power. And it says, love is a power greater than fear. Love is a power greater than tears. Love is a power. Learn of its ways to power a new world and a new day. And a new day. And many of us healers have been praying for this and wishing in our own little practice. I mean, I've talked to medical practitioners, ER nurses, surgeons, Reiki masters, medicine people of all different indigenous tribes through the years. And everybody to one has prayed for or wished that somehow they could touch the whole world with healing. Because if one of us hurts on this planet, we all hurt. And so even if we haven't personally created that hurt, or we don't personally see that hurt, it's still hurting us and it's hurting all of life. Because we're all one in an energetic web. And the exciting news now is, because everybody's been taught to worship science, that now science has actually come out and stated that we are an energetic field full of oneness, and we're all connected, and energy is the stuff that has created all this. We're all made of star stuff, as Carl Sagan used to say. So in that oneness and fear, the only thing that we need to do is shapeshift our energy from that of fear to love. And when everybody on the planet decides that love is going to be the motivating force, the passion, the creative force, the artistic, the music, the nurturing, the healing, the feeding, the touching, the binding up the wounds, that when we all shapeshift to that love and live our moment-to-moment sacred time on this planet in love, then the whole world is united in, guess what? What's it united in? Love. And then everything changes from there. Now it's already changing, and there are beautiful pockets of beautiful healers in all modalities people from all different religious faiths around the globe who are working hard and practicing this love in their own practice, whether it's Sadhguru in India or the Thich Nhat Hanh Buddhist temple group there. Those are larger groups, but there are little pockets in neighborhoods all around the globe of people that are caring for each other. When there's a disaster, they're right there to take care of them. And if we could all just recognize each other and honor one another, and any prejudice that we have against somebody that has a different skin color or a different religious upbringing, or dresses a certain way or talks a certain way or eats a certain way, this is a time then we could really test our inner love in accepting and embracing everyone else on the planet, and realizing that every prophecy is coming true right now on this planet. It's just been shaded and flavored and twisted around by people and organizations that have lost their love and their compassion. And so the stories that have come down to us aren't always totally true, but there's some beautiful truth in everything we've ever learned, but we just have forgotten that. So my plea here is to share with you that thought of oneness and how swiftly and beautifully it can shapeshift, because it's just an idea, it's a dream. But I've had this dream since I was a little kid, and worked at it my whole life to try to understand why nobody ever heard it. Nobody that I ever met understood it. And so I ended up spending a lot of my life as a bunny, kind of hiding in the shadows and trying to survive. And you know how bunnies are, they like to have fun, and they're kind of cute and fuzzy. And so, you know, we have our own little bunny parties, but but when the world is being overtaken by this kind of mindless, thoughtless viciousness, it's time for the wolf to come out. And my Lakota name is Machichina Zutmanatu Lawampe. And that is a kind of a wacky Indian name, Lakota name. Even a lot of the Lakota people that I know, they hear that, I go, that's a funny name. Funny bunny name. But the medicine keeper, when I received that, Lakota people that I know, the name, it said, this is to remind you not to hide like a bunny now. It's time for the wolf to come out. It's time for the wolf teacher to come out. And the wolves are here in Wyoming aren't very highly thought of. So right away when I tell people my name is Bunny Sings Wolf, ranchers and farmers go, oh man. But in the traditional indigenous cultures in this area, the wolf was highly respected because it was a teacher and it was a caregiver to the whole tribe. It had an organized way similar to what I think and dream about the Dakota people, and so many other beautiful people who lived on Turtle Island here practiced. And so they took care of the sick ones and the young ones. And it was more of a matriarchal society than it was patriarchal, the way we think of patriarchal today, because the women had a great say in what was going on with the decisions of the tribe, because they were the ones who had to make sure everybody was fed and clothed and the shelter was there. And I always love to tell the story of how the men were always encouraged to make the decisions and smoke the chanupa and talk about things and plan things and organize things and take care of the hunt. And yet whenever a decision was made of anything that happened outside of the village. They would pray about it, talk about it, plan for it. And every time in the old days when any decisions were made, they tried to consider 7 generations forward too, because our most precious thing that we have to give is the spark of life to the next generation. So when they'd make their decision, and if it had to do with war or where to move or how to go, the women were always highly considered because we were more affected by weather, tough terrain, or enemies. And if there's war or there's harshness in any kind of lack of food, women are a little weaker in that area. So we were always considered in the final decision. So the idea that what they call Indians or Native Americans or indigenous people on this planet, that we were warriors, I tend to believe more it was a warrior of life, because life was the most valuable thing that we have and that we can pass on to future generations. And our relatives, the trees and the deer and the buffalo and the bunnies and the wolves and all the living things, the frogs and the fish, all of those we consider our relatives. And we wanted them to have a happy life too. Of course, we realized that whenever we eat something, something dies, and we eat all kinds of stuff, just like all other life forms do. It's all about feeding and recycling and giving life. And so we never would consider taking a life without giving thanks first and asking permission and using it wisely and honoring it. And in the time we live now, we're so disconnected even with our food. It comes from the grocery store, we gobble it down, eat it standing up, and it's over with, you know. So that relationship of oneness is a marvelous thought to think about for these days, to consider how if we could find a way to slowly, gradually work our way back to feeling that family relationship with all other life and treat it accordingly, what a beautiful world it would instantly be. So the first thing that we can the only first thing we can really turn to oneness is ourselves. And all of us contain a lot of fear still because that's the way we were brought up. And even a year ago when I started building this app, as I realized that's the only way to reach the whole world, because all the kids live on their phones. And I think, I wonder about you, haven't you recognized that even though we use these tools, we don't trust them. There's something bad about them, you know? And probably rightly so, because people tell me that, 90% or more of what's on the internet is pornography, which is just shockingly hard to fathom, to believe. And yet, whatever percentage it is not the issue. The issue is somehow, somewhere, some group or corporation or bank or a financial institution or government, and they've all seemed to have this same bent of competition, who can use it in a way that gets the most control. And when greed and fear is the motivation, nothing good can really come of it. So the fact that the world's kind of really messed up right now is not a surprise, because fear always leads to dis-ease. And again, another thing science has been proving now is our thoughts create our realities. And in the Lakota culture, we said, as above, so below, as below, so above. And if we can picture it as a mirror, what we see in the mirror is not the mirror's fault. It's who we are and what we're showing that mirror that's coming back to us. So it's time to make some readjustments and understand that we have all the power that we need right this moment to shapeshift the world from a oneness of fear to a oneness of love. And it's not a competition. It's not a race. It's not something that we don't already have in our hands. You're watching this, you're on a computer or a phone. It's kind of a no-brainer, you know. I feel embarrassed that I'm announcing it to you because I can't believe that I'm the one telling you this, because it just seems so obvious. So what did all these people like Martin Luther King and Mahatma Gandhi and Mother Teresa and Nelson Mandela and my relative Crazy Horse, what did they all have in common that you have in common with them? They're human beings. They walked on two legs. They had a heart, they had a brain, they breathed air, and they had a dream. And somehow, some way, they managed to work on their dream to bring impact to other people. And we bring impact every day. We just don't realize it. Every time we smile at somebody, we're changing the weather in Brazil. You heard about the little butterfly. They say the butterfly flies his wings someplace, then it changes the weather across the globe. And it's really way more true than what we give it credit for. So every random act of kindness and every smile and every compassionate thing that we say and do makes a huge difference in the world, a huge difference. And since I started making this app last December, a year ago, not knowing a single thing about technology. I mean, I've made some websites in the past when websites were a lot easier to make because they weren't applications and they didn't do what they do now. But I didn't know what PM or DM meant in Facebook. I didn't want anything to do with technology. I was done. And so when I started this process, I started with a company called Passion. And it's really been a passionate journey because it has challenged every ounce of fear in my being. I thought I had fear conquered in a lot of ways, but every single time I got on the phone to get some technical support, and I've spent a lot of hours with technical support. I'm usually talking to somebody in India and I can't understand a word they're saying. And the first thing out of their mouth, they say, well, how are you today? And I say, I'm fine, thank you. How are you? And they said, oh, I'm fine. Thank you for asking. And I mean, a couple of times when I heard that, I was ready to tear my hair out. I was like, don't say thank you for asking, please. Because it just seemed, it was so phony. It seemed so phony. But so it is, this whole process has really taught me a lot about my fears and my prejudices and my short temper shortcomings. And there's the challenge for each of us. It's time to clean out the closet of our brains and our hearts and our teachings. And when my husband passed away 3 years ago, it's like I had to start from day 10 because we'd been married for 37 years. And there's a lot of things I didn't know how to do or where to find them or nobody to ask, you know, just whole start over fresh. So I had to re-examine every single thing I ever believed and everything I thought I knew and everything I thought I'd done from scratch. And I'm hoping that that's kind of what this pandemic has done for a lot of us, because we've had to re-examine what we thought was normal. They always talk about the new normal. So the thing we all have in common with all these great teachers and movers and shakers is they had a dream. And I'm asking you about your dream. Do you have a dream? Something you know that you were born on this planet to do that means the world to you and it gives you life and it fulfills your every cell in your body and makes you happy and healthy when you do that dream, when you work on that dream? And it's a good thing to think about right now, because I believe perhaps we're all here for this purpose and this time, to dream Mother Earth back to health. But she's taking care of herself. She doesn't need us. But in a sense, she does, because we've evolved to this place where we have these fantastic minds that are thinking ourselves into craziness, because we have such a capacity to think. We don't have to worry about feeding our faces on a day-to-day basis, most of us. So our minds are turning against us instead of using them to make this world the beautiful place that it is, and even better if we'd cooperate a little bit with it. So I'm asking, if you don't have a dream, think about it. Think about it, write it down, do some journaling, pray about it. And if you still can't come up with a dream of your own, please come and join my dream, the collective dream of a better world and world peace. No, I'm not running for Miss America. But they all dreamed. And now it's a time for you to share your gifts, your art, your music, your unique talents, your healing, your knowledge, your wisdom, your technical expertise, everything that you have as gifts that you can bring to this planet and to this world and to our fellow humans to help us in this healing process is a sacred gift. And I would love to encourage you to use your sacred gifts in every possible way, shape, and form that you can, even if it just means giving that kitty cat another dish of food and giving her a little pat on the head. The compassion and the inclusiveness that we can represent as a power in this world is beyond any of our imagination. So we're here today, and I'd really like to share the gift of what I have to offer, which is a lifetime of songs that Kate has known about for a long time. And I am using those songs in an app called Indigenous Healing. And the purpose of the app, and every marketing genius that I've consulted with thinks it's a stupid slogan, because nobody can quite stretch their brain out wide enough to understand that this is a real deal, people. Indigenous healing is here to heal a heart, a nation, a world. But the only way it'll ever work is if we all use our phones and our lives. Start with our lives first. Find that oneness here and that sovereignty. And then we can magnify it from there. And so within the app, I'm putting some little coaxings, I call them, because everybody has a coaching app and a teaching app. But I truly believe that in each of your hearts, that there is such a sacred journey for you and for the planet that I don't feel that I can really coach anybody. That Creator has given us a little voice in our head that is timeless, beyond this physical robe that we're wearing right now. And so that purpose has been with you when you were born. And now it's a time to discover it, to find out why you're really here. And then we all need to get busy and do it together. So we can be our totally beautiful, unique selves. We all have our different piece in that beautiful puzzle of life. And without every piece taking its place, it won't be complete. So I'm calling out to all of you, to all of us, to not be afraid of those gifts, to trust that little voice in your head that is eternal, and listen to that instead of this physical chatter that goes on all day long. A couple of deep breaths, time for prayer, a walk in the woods, along the beach, watch the sunrise, see the sunset. smell a flower, listen to the birds, and reconnect with all the things that make us whole and beautiful and unique and real. And I'll share my songs and a few coaxings in the app. And the app is there to, the thing I really loved about the whole idea of an app is, first of all, it's something all of our young people have. And us oldsters, we don't like technology. So we have kind of a silent voice these days. You know, in the old days, you used to sit on the front porch and everybody'd come over and listen to grandma and grandpa tell stories, or even before that in the tribal days, sit around the fire and the stars at night and the fire would be crackling and the old ones would tell their stories. And some of the old Lakota storytellers, you could hear the same story 15 times and learn something totally new out of it because they were multi-layered. And our voices are silent right now, pretty much, because nobody comes and sits on the front porch anymore. And now we've got the pandemic thing where we've really lost a lot of our wisdom keepers. And a lot of us who've survived this hopefully have realized that maybe the thing that kept us alive is our will to be alive, of our saying, I'm not going to be afraid of this. I'm going to survive this. And there's proof in my app. Scientifically, I've got some great videos there picked out for you if you decide to go on and watch them, that show beyond a shadow of a doubt, they're made by medical doctors who've done the research. This is, it's not diet and exercise that helps our health, but what really affects our health is the placebo effect. And that's been the curse of medical physicians for a lot of years, because they don't understand why the people taking the placebo are actually getting as well and sometimes weller than the people who actually got the remedy that they were testing. And now the nocebo effect is such that when people think they're getting chemotherapy when they're really not, they're losing their hair and throwing up and having all the side effects. So it really is proof that what we think and how we live on a day-by-day basis affects our health. And it affects the health and the wellness of everybody else around us. So again, it's back to my original thought that our thoughts create things, and it's time to shift our thought process and make it a wellness process and use the gifts that we have to really affect ourselves and our communities and where we live. But even more encouraging than that is the fact that if we unite together, we really can connect with one another on a global scale. Each one of us can have a hand in the impact that it's going to take to make this shapeshift global and really start healing a lot more people. Because people are awakening like popcorn all over the planet right now, and they don't know what to do with this awakening. They're quitting their jobs, they're leaving their families, they're getting divorced. They're going, I don't know, but this life I've been living doesn't make any sense anymore. But where do they go? What do they do? How can they come to terms with recognizing the spiritual side of them that they never, ever even thought about before? And that's where us healers come in, because wherever these people have this awakening, and it's a traumatic, messy experience, it's like cleaning a wound that's been infected. You've got to get the mess out and get all the poisons out and get that all sorted out so that the healing can take place and the new cells can come into that damaged area and rebuild it. And our bodies have that capacity, and our minds and our hearts do too. So it's time to recognize that and speak that out loud. We've heard everything else, but this is the new normal that I'm talking about. And I didn't come up with it. I just have been listening to everybody talking about it and discovering it. And mentioning it, but those aren't the things that get the evening news. But if we all join together for one event that could make the whole world stop for a minute, would be so wonderful. And in my dream, I pictured that there was a gathering around the tree of life that Crazy Horse foretold for this time, the seventh generation. And he said, let's see, I don't have it written down here where I can read it, but you can read it if you want to go to a one-page website that I've created that's temporary now. It's indigenous.healing.io on a web browser. And I quoted Crazy Horse there, and it says basically that when the world in the state that it's in right now, that there would be young ones coming to some of us Lakota, and they would be asking for wisdom. And when you find that oneness in you, and I find that oneness in me, we'll be one. And in that prophecy or that dream that he had, he said that the whole world would gather around the tree of life. And I live 9 miles from what many of our elders have passed on was once a tree, the tree of life that Native people here believed that that's what that was thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. And of course, in another war, it was chopped down by giants, and there's just a stump left. And it's on our treaty lands. And my brother worked with the United Nations, one of the first Lakota to be asked to speak at the United Nations about the treaty issues. And that was in the 90s. And I ended up through a number of spirit directed events, is the only way I can bring it out. Ended up living here, not knowing anything about this place. And it's just the perfect place for me because the land here just speaks to you. There's still some of that Black Hills natural energy here. But when I learned that it was the tree of life, I realized that this dream I had since a child, and then I learned about Crazy Horse's prophecy. I thought, this is the place where the gathering needs to be. And of course, because it was the Lakota's most sacred site, and Young Man Afraid of His Horses did his vision quest beside it and found himself the next morning on top. How did he get there? With the buffalo skull. And there's many accounts of that in books at the Devil's Tower gift shops talking about that. And yet there are many people living here who say, oh, the Lakota were too afraid of this place. It was called Bad God's Mountain. Well, no. We don't have a word in Lakota for devil, but they called it Devil's Tower anyway, for whatever reasons, whether to denigrate our most sacred place, or just because there's a lot of beautiful places named after the devil, because that's the fear that everybody's used to in this world right now. But this gathering is around the tree of life. We call it Mato Tipala. And Mato means bear, Tipala is teepee or home, or a residence, a center. Home of healing is the way that really translates, because bear is a powerful healing medicine animal in many cultures around the globe. So the dream is, if you don't have a dream, or you have a dream but you'd like to share this dream too, is to gather the whole world around the tree of life for one moment when we can all share that moment together in a sacred way, and help people to envision a dream and to keep a positive thought for that all at the same time. So that's what Indigenous healing is for. And we planned this interview about a month or so, maybe more, a month and a half ago. And I was still crazily thinking I might not be able ever to get that app going. And it just got live on Apple and Google Play about a week or two ago, but it had so many errors in it. And so I went back with the tech people I've hired and change, and change it some more and change. I've been up all night, every night, changing things, adding things, making more videos. And it finally just, it's at the place now where I'd really like you to see it. And it's a free
Bunny?
introduction. Yeah.
I was just wondering, I don't know how to reach the app.
Okay. You go on a Google store or Apple store where you download apps, and
Uh-huh.
you search indigenous healing, and you'll see my picture up there.
Uh-huh. So Susan has it. Okay. Let's
Then you just tap on that to get, and then they'll ask you for your email and make a password, and you're in.
wonderful. Now, does it have songs too? Or tell me a little bit more about what I would find there.
Yep. A lot of what I've said here is there. It's me talking. I
Mhm.
tell some stories, and I put in the introduction, I put some videos in there from some people I think you need to hear from besides me.
Well, I
And
love your voice. I love just listening to you. I don't care what you're saying.
well, thank you. At the last, my tech team said, instead of having people read things on on your phone, why don't you do an audio of it? So you'll hear my voice a lot in the app, because everything that's written pretty much you'll hear me. So you don't even have to read it. You can pop your little earphones in and hear what the coaxing is about. And then I've made a number of videos with my songs that come with pictures or lessons that come with.
Were you going to show us one tonight, the White Buffalo? Were you going to share that one?
Well, what I'm going to do is give you each a free download of a song that I made into a video. And you don't even have to go on the app. If you don't want to download the app,
Mhm.
you can just go to www.matotipila, MATOTIPILA. It's in the chat. You go
Mhm.
there, leave your email address and your name, and then we'll send you a email back. And there you can click on it, and it'll take you to a Dropbox page where you can download the White Buffalo Peace Song video. And my hope for that is that if you would share that with everybody in the world that you know, and let them know about this idea, this dream, let
Mhm.
them have that song, use it in your Zoom meetings, or just listen to it when you're starting to get nervous about some catastrophe in your life. And remember the dream and focus on the dream. And let's put our energies on the love and the relationship, because in the app, you know, a lot of the people that have coaching apps for exercise and diet, they make a tribe right there in the app. And my tribe in the app, our tribe, is that we're all relatives to life. And so in the app, I'm telling you time and again, it doesn't matter what skin color you have or what blood quantum you have, or if you have a card that says you're Indian, because that was a governmental thing that has added to the genocide of our nation. Only dogs and Indians and horses have to have a card to prove what nationality they are. And it's time to get over that and cut down the barriers. Who you are is totally unique from your siblings and your parents. And so we can always find differences, but now it's time to celebrate the sameness and to celebrate the differences. And so in the app, everybody's called family. Welcome home to my family, your family, everybody's family. We're all indigenous to Mother Earth. And it's time for all of us to heal up, heal ourselves and each other at indigenous healing. And that's what the app lessons are about. And it was so beautiful to hear Cathy. I mean, I was totally floored and humbled by the fact that she said that my music, just listening to that, healed her. And yet now I can accept that because I know the science behind it, and I'll share it with you in the app. So it's a natural. We all are natural healers if we only can just use our gifts to heal ourselves and each other. So there'll be a lot of songs there because I have over 400 of them that came in dreams. And in the first
Wow.
few lessons in the app, I've only shared maybe 5 or 6 of them, as I want to use those songs progressively to help people to heal themselves and their neighbors and their families and their communities. So that's what's going to be in the app. And right now I just have the introduction and a 4-day course called The Calling Forth. And I opened it up to my founding members first because they're giving me feedback, and they've stuck with me through a year. Some of them has given me money to help with this project a year or more ago, with nothing to show for it. So I thought they should get first dibs on what's there and give some feedback and comment on it. So it's
Well, Bunny,
everywhere.
there are some comments. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hey, let's hear it. I didn't mean to do all the talking here, but wanted to share my
Bonnie
dream.
Joseph says she loved that song. The first time I heard Buffalo Peace song brought me to tears. My heart felt the music. You so wonderfully present.
Oh,
And there is Kate has updated the website because some people have been having some trouble getting the link. Shelley says the link is still not working, but she has the app. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. We want to make
So
sure
what
that
Kate
we,
gave is working. I just checked it.
okay.
The
The
other
new
two-
one that Kate gave is working. So,
Oh, the other work for me too.
okay.
what were the motto
And I'd
tipo
like to jump
for the
in and
free
just
song?
say,
That's working.
Go ahead, Kate.
oh, I was just thinking as you were speaking of your dream and asking, so many of us have that dream of world peace.
Yeah.
There's so many people working towards the dream of world peace. I'm so honored to see Patricia Davis in our audience today. As you described, the criminal mind is how Pat would say. And, I just feel like, oh, if we could just put the words of your grandmothers together, we would all understand this world in a whole different way.
Yeah.
So I think it would be wonderful if we could open up the circle to hear the voices of everyone. And maybe everyone could give just a word of what they'd like to weave into this dream. And then I'm wondering, do you have a date of when you'd like to see this vision? I mean, it feels like nothing short of restoration of the sacred hoop, of gathering people of all minds and coming together in a resonant field at a sacred spot that was known as our first national monument that got renamed. It feels like such a truth-telling effort that could happen. Do you have a vision of when you'd like people to be there?
Yes, and the reason I need to tell you why this is the shape-shifting place of the planet in my dream, because again, it's on our treaty lands, and again, it's been named a Heyoka way. The opposite of what it really represents is it. And if we in our hearts could rename it the International Natural Monument to Humanity's Healing, it puts a picture in all of our hearts that can reside with us, because it's like we need to see and feel a connection to something outside of us in order to solidify it within us. It's that mirror thing again. And there are fabulous holy sites all around the planet, for sure. And they all have had gatherings, and there will continue to be gatherings there. But this gathering is for the impact, because as a Lakota person, we have had to be silenced for so long. Our voices and our culture and the beautiful way of truth that we lived by has been so distorted and so reported and so historically thwarted. It's all been wrong. And yet people have a great fascination with the West. And there's so many stories revolving around it. And it would be a great healing for my nation if we could do this here just for that moment. We could do it every year after we've done it once for the impact, if people want to keep coming back. And of course, there will be sacred sites and sacred circles and sacred fires and ceremonies everywhere on the planet. So it's not a competition by any stretch. But if this one could go global, it would feed a lot of positive energy into our broken people who have suffered for so long and continue to suffer. It's not about money as much as it is about pride and sovereignty and knowing that somehow we do matter as a nation, and we have a lot to give in the old ways of teaching that need to be brought forward so that humanity can heal. And I'd like to bring a lot of that into the app teachings. And so, no, I don't know the date. It's not up to me. This has been totally almost a surprise for me to find that my songs of all these years and my dreams of all these years have even gotten this far to be talking with you today, which is a total honor. And I appreciate you all for being here. But when the time comes, you sign up for that little matotipola.org White Buffalo Peace Song. I'll have your
White
email.
Buffalo Peace Song is the name of it. White Buffalo Peace Song. Okay.
Yeah, and it's the name for the video really is White Buffalo Peace Song, The Making of Relatives. And the song speaks about the fact that now's the time to make relatives with everybody else on the planet and get rid of our prejudice and our fear and love each other and accept each other and work together and nurture each other. And so as more and more people get that free video and spread it around, I'm hoping that music and art is a way to teach rather than a sermon, you know. So you don't have to go and sign up for the app courses that I'm putting there, but I hope you do, because what I'd like to see of the number of people who actually physically show up to join hands and hearts around the tree of life, that those people will know totally and be solid in their love and their inclusiveness, that these are resonating, vibrating love machines all connected around that tower. Because the day that I found out that the app had been released, a post on Facebook came through to remind me how this is a sacred thing. It's not in my hand or yours. Because the picture was of the tower with this huge lightning bolt as big as the tower right next to it. And it went all the way up to the sky. It was, and I posted it on my Facebook page with that announcement. Oh, as soon as I found out about the app, this is what shows up. And it's a reminder that the natural world and the natural ways are extremely powerful. Mother Earth has been so gentle with us, really. If we approach an elephant, I'm going to be your friend. He's going to charge you, and you know your history. Zaguru was just, I listened to some of his talks as he's making a huge difference in India. And he said he used to work with elephants, and all the people who work with elephants come to the elephants like this. And if you come in a humble manner, the elephant, you know, you're good. But if you come strolling in there like, I'm going to do this ceremony on you, you know, it doesn't work. And so that lightning bolt was a nice reminder to me that the people who gather there need to know there could be danger there. You know, if that big of a lightning bolt could be there, I thought, boy, if too many people see this, nobody will want to come, because it's a connection to Mother Earth that none of us have been too aware of. A lot of our Native relatives have, and they continue the ceremonies in a really respectful way. But people come in and say, oh, I can do that ceremony, or I could do this or that. And they do, and sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't, and it's catastrophic. And so it's really important that we we look into our own hearts and minds and have that humility and that teachableness to say, yeah, I don't know it all. And to be a seeker instead of a preacher. And I'm still a seeker. I don't know when this will happen. But the minute it does, if I have all of your emails, I can send it out. And then by that time, you'll know what to do and you know how to do it well. And I think it's going to be catch up for a little while for a lot of people because we think we know, but we really don't. And I think this next year is going to show us some things that will test us in some marvelous ways. And just remember, all polarities are expressions of a single source. So even the things that we call bad, it's part of the lesson. So just trust it. Take a deep breath, be grateful and say, okay, what can I learn from this experience? And then keep going. And that path of peace will be open to everybody, whether you can make it here in person or not. And when it happens, well, by the time it happens, hopefully this White Buffalo Peace song or emails that you send to people or more and more groups that you tell, you don't have to send the White Buffalo Peace song. That's my way of saying this is real easy. Just let people know about it, let them sign up. And the app is really easy to sign up to too. So we don't have, especially us wisdom keepers, our grandparents and mothers and fathers. If you don't like technology, give this one thing a try, just for this one. Sacrifice a little time to read the instructions. Say, okay, I can figure out this electric blanket. You plug it in here, and you don't put it in the washer.
Funny, we have Pamela, who you may know Pamela. I sure tried to connect you, but she has her hand up. We'd like to hear from her.
Yeah, let's do Pamela. Welcome.
Hello, and thank you, Bob and Noel. It is so good to be here, swimming in this soul pod with Soul Family again. And Kate, thank you for, how many years ago was it, sister? 5 or 6 years ago, Kate sent me a number of your CDs, and I too was awash in the beauty and the connection. And Kate it was like these two bookends of, Bunny's music healed me, your music healed me, you two have to get together. And it was just like, wow. I think Barbara Marx Hubbard was still alive at the time. And I think about, she's just humming right now because Kate's vocational arousal, wanting to get us together, and Heidi Little, you had this vision of the three of us. And Kate, it's all in the hands of the Creator. And I actually have shivers because I'm on tonight, I'm coming to the call, and I'm told by Great Spirit, go to your front closet and get the scarf. I've never even worn this. My sister sent it to me for Christmas from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I was born in Regina, just north of where you are, North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming. And Nancy sent me this beautiful Tree of Life scarf. I can't even show it all to you, but it's just this most beautiful. It's the Tree of Life. So as you started to talk about this, I'm going, oh my God, I had to go at 2 minutes to 8. I have to go get it right now. So I just have shivers because you are my sister. You are my mother. You are my daughter. You are my family. I see myself in you. I feel my dream in you. I feel a river of tears moving through me because this dream has been alive in me since I was a little girl in Regina, Saskatchewan, miles, not very far from you. And Kate told me about Madhu Tipala, and my husband was like, oh, that's from the movie Close Encounters, da, 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 right? It's the only reference I have. And all these years later, we've been in this chrysalis, this cocoon. As you say, it's been very generative. And as we are in this beautiful council, holding hands here virtually tonight, I am so humbled to be in the presence of all of you beautiful souls and to feel the aliveness of this dream and to know it's not only possible, it's here right now. And this morning, I actually have been working with a young woman who is teaching me a lot about technology and everything you've been talking about, your beautiful app. I can't wait to dive into that. I found myself, she's probably 3 decades younger than me and smart as a whip. And I had to, in my humility, be open to learn from her. And I'm the wise one, and I have to be brave enough to share with her, right? So after I got off a Zoom call with her, may I share the poem that came to me? And I will actually, I made because I curate words and songs and poems, they birth through me, all the time. So I wrote this morning and put it on Facebook. I will put it on the Noelle, I'll pop it onto the CCC page. But I just want to share these words with you because it came from searching an image. And I found this image of this pink dawn and the blue, blue sky merging with the water. And as I sat, I said, all right, Great Mother, what are the words that you wish for me to speak today? And on this day, January 12th, when we are gathering, seeding this coming together in these great waves of love, this is what came to me. Every morning, the sky touches the earth, the water, inviting a merging, a softening, a sigh, a leaning into the space where love quietly offers and sings, teaching without words, expanding without effort, empowering with presence. We are here to be students and teachers for each other. Be humble enough to learn new things. Be brave enough to share your wisdom. Love comes in waves, each ripple a moment to wash more love into this rare and radiant world. So that was my prayer for today, and I offer it to you all with such deep gratitude. And I can't wait to hold hands with y'all around that tree of life. See you there. I'm in. I have a few songs too. I have a song called Love Is All that we can sing with Love Is a Power and The Road to Peace and The Body Remembers. We have to talk, sister. Thank you all. I love you all. And let's see it be done.
Thank you, Pamela. That was so beautiful. Perfect. Thanks for sharing your beautiful scarf with us too. Who else would like to say? I want to say hi to Rob.
Yes.
Hi,
There's
Rob.
some other folks. Yeah, Rob put a comment in the chat. Go ahead, Rob, unmute. Love to hear your voice. Thank you, Pamela.
Howdy.
Mwah.
I guess I was one of those loft people that found Bunny in August, and she helped me a lot. She's awesome. And yeah, like I've been kind of seeking the truth since I had a kind of a traumatic experience. But yeah, kind of probably all I got to say for now. Maybe next time. I'm also like in the middle of battle, so anything I can, the boss can use it against me in court. So he's trying to say I'm crazy, but yeah, there's that.
Well, you're not.
I know.
You got family here, Rob.
Yep. Oh, but I recently found the Dead Sea Scrolls, the ancient Essenes. They say that prayer, it doesn't really matter about the words. It's the thought, the emotion, and then the physical feeling of it being done. And that communing, with the unseen forces. And they said that angels are, those unseen forces. I thought that was really interesting. I've been practicing that.
Thank you, Rob. That was wonderful. Great to see you. Hang in there.
I'll see you on Tuesday.
All
Swinging
right.
through.
All right. Who else? I don't want to call you out, Sue.
Yeah, I know. I feel like perhaps we could go around the circle and everyone could maybe leave a word or a phrase of what this hour has been with Bunny, what you'd like to weave into the dream. If we could maybe do that, but I could call everybody out in my Zoom in our virtual circle. Can we start with Sue?
Hey, you're the boss.
Let's see, Sue, are we talking about Sue Gray Wolf? Can you unmute? Oh, there you are. You unmuted. Okay, let's hear from you.
Oh boy. I don't know what there is about me, but everybody says, let's get Sue in there. No, I'm just Kate invited me, and you know, Bunny and I have chatted and video zoomed a few times now, and I'm just so excited to be part of this and to be able to connect all these hearts together. It just blows me away. I just as soon as I saw the initial post that Kate had posted, and I was like, I got to get a hold of Bunny, and I did. I emailed her right away, and she emailed me right back. So yeah, it's been amazing. I feel excited and really really happy to be part of something that's as big as this is going to be. And I really feel it's going to be awesome and really connect a lot of hearts, even more than everyone's trying to connect now. I mean, there's so many groups and so many people around the world that are doing the same. This is just going to help bring even more together so that we can all be in our hearts and just connect and try to help those that are lost. And
Yeah.
that's all we can do, is just help others the best we can. And that's all I try to do through my music and my healing. And you know, that's what we're here for, to grow and blossom and create and just be who we are.
Yeah.
And if we don't know who we are yet, we keep working at it until we do. So I'm still a work in progress here at some point, but I'm getting there. So I just really glad to be here, and I'm glad you invited me, Kate. I was a little confused at first with everything, but that's me.
You also a beautiful keeper of songs that speak right to Mother Earth. You know, as I look at in the room, I see so many artists, and I'm reminded that time is art. We're all artists and storytellers, and
Yeah.
if we can, you know, what is the vitality code? Give one another what we need to reach that highest potential. I think that is something that is common among us all. And when we can join our energies and our networks of grace, look out, world.
Here we come.
Can we move to Miss Shelley, darling? She's next on my screen. Do you have a word for us in the
Darling,
dream?
darling. Yes.
Oh boy. Okay. I just thought I'd be really quiet tonight. Nice to see everybody. And Bunny, this is really the first time that I've been introduced to you. And it was very clear to get on. And oddly enough, I was talking to a woman who has just written this book about Samoset I'm in Maine. And she kept telling me about this person, Bunny, and it wasn't the same one, but it was a different Bunny who's written a lot about indigenous culture. But for me, it was like the way through which, Creator speaks. And that was really meaningful to me. It was like, okay, I get there is this thread of connection, this thread of, just as I'm listening to each person. And I just also want to just honor Kate, how incredibly articulate and this focused expression of, really what's the word is like cataclysmic energy, understanding of love and peace. And I think that just wanted to make note of that, how endearing that is, because we've known each other for quite a while. When you were talking about the dream, and I think one of the things that I've been experiencing is we think we think we know our dream, and we start to live it, and then something crushes us, and then you question that dream, right? And so I guess tonight it's like that sense of the dream keeps dreaming itself bigger and wider within us, and that ability to trust. And I love that you brought in about the tree of life, that, all the aspects of who we are aspects within that tree. And, in the different cultures, I'm very connected to Waitaha, New Zealand, and in Australia. And I feel like, the inner quest is, how do we stay true, to be that trunk of the tree? How do we be that ever flowing, ever growing energy? And I think that you speak to that, and you are that. And to me, it was really, I immediately went and got the app, more for the fact of, I know, like, I worked a year on an app, and it's like, I just let go of it finally. I was like, I don't know that this is part of my dream, but, to listen to you tonight, and just to hear that, that willingness to stay to the voice of the dream, the way it changes through us and as us, because it's not just a one-pointed one thing, it's how the dream calls us to be that fullest expression, and moving, in a way that, like the river, right? The river's ever changing, and yet the river knows where it's going. It's going to the ocean. So with that, I really thank you, because I think I'm going to go into my dreaming tonight. And I think I feel the words that you're talking are going to very much be infused. And I look forward to seeing what those dreams are tonight. So blessings. I'm looking forward to the music and everything. So blessings to you and everyone who's here tonight. Thank you.
My pleasure. Keep up that work.
Thank
Good
you.
work.
And
Wonderful.
I believe Carol has your hand up. Carol?
Yeah, Rob does also. Carol, you're muted. And then Victoria.
I think I'm unmuted now, am I?
We can hear you. Woohoo!
Yeah, and I kept trying to
Nice.
raise my hand, and all it was doing was waving. And then I figured out I was doing it wrong. But anyway, so I'm honored to be here. And Kate, I love you so much. You are such a connector. And Bunny, this is my first time hearing about you. Kate sent me a message and sent me the link, and here I am. And so as a true believer in dreams and following our dreams, and even when it gets hard, and when we think this is just isn't working, this just isn't working, all that tells me is that it's just not time. It's just not time. Yeah, you've dropped the dream, and you're working on the dream, and you're doing your best to fulfill that dream. But when the time is right, the time is right. And so as a water walker, trying to get protocol finished and get permission from all the tribes to walk a river, and it's just not coming together. I'm not getting permission. Then I say, okay, you know what? Maybe this isn't the river I'm supposed to walk. So I go back to the drawing board, bring up another river, and bang, there it is. That's not the river. That's not the time to do that river. And so I'm really honored to be with people who understand that we're all just one leaf on this tree of life, and each leaf feeds the tree. I take in what I take in, just like the leaf takes in the sunshine, shares that energy with the tree, and then the tree takes it all, mixes it all together in that river of life that flows through that tree, and we end up feeding every other leaf on the tree. So we have to be careful what we're feeding, and I think for a lot of years, too many of us were feeding the wrong thing. Not knowingly, but now that we're becoming more aware of how that energy that we share impacts everybody else around us, we become more conscious of, okay, I'm not having a good day. Maybe today's not the day to go out. Maybe I just need to excuse me, but I'm a water worker, get in a tub and soak and give it to the water, go to the ocean, get my feet in the ocean, go to the water and just sit by the water, and wash it all away, and then have contact with people and but allow ourselves to make that contact with who we are. And I loved how you were talking about the food that we eat, because I work a lot with children. I have a program called Nurture the Children. And one of the things that I tell them is that you are the earth, you are the air, you are the water, you are the fire. And they go, no. And it's like, you're not. And that's like, okay, so you're 75% water. Your human body's 75% water. So you're definitely water. Yeah. Okay. Can you live without eating? No. And I said, so every time you eat, you become the earth, because everything you eat walks, swims, flies, or grows on this earth. So from the time you were in the womb and your mother was eating to create you, you are the earth and you are the water.
Carol, we need to have you for an entire segment, sister. You are absolutely beautiful. But we also have, we got our time limits and we're not on Indian time completely yet. So
Thank
Miss
you.
Victoria,
So perfect.
Miss Victoria also has her hand up. So if you could just
And
finalize
you're also
there.
missing Rob. Oh, yes. And so anyway, we have to breathe, so we're the air. And we are the fire, because that's the spark that brought life into our bodies. And that's our heart. And so it's just an honor to be with all of you and to see those heart lights just shining. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I took some time to listen in and be comforted and inspired by everyone who is speaking truth. And it's my first time listening with you, Bunny, and I'm grateful to meet you on this convergence event. I really have paid attention throughout my life to medicine people as I was born into the Hachini and Kia'ani of the Dene medicine people. My father initiated me and was my teacher. And he told me, when he put me on this path as a traditional healer, he said, literally, quote, undo the thinking that has caused our people so much violence and suffering. And so to really simplify how I go about it is from the Nepazad, which is the holy people's sacred language and words, ceremonial words that speak to the love and peace that is already existing within us, because we're in the natural order. We're already existing in the natural order. And so basically just wanted to thank everyone for their knowledge, for their life experience, for their contribution, and certainly for all the work that you have done to say what you want to say. I have spent time on Cheyenne River Reservation. So I'm familiar with many ways that they are struggling, as all of us are, who were coming from a reservation prison camp experience, and to observe that unless we give up enemy creation, and like you're speaking, we are befriending, making relatives and befriending one another. that is the solution. And the people who are controlled by fear, who are fear-based, I like to say that I know that fear is a call for love, and that this love is existing in the essence and substance of the whole universe, and that humans are the ones who are denying the giving and receiving of this love, that it's radiatory love, and we give our consensus to be a conduit in that way. And some of the sounds of the language that are describing where it's coming from is Hojojik Ina, which is saying like the beautiful, blessed way of our life journey, of our interrelatedness and interconnectedness is life itself. That's our very life itself. And so the general public has not had access to oral tradition. So the opportunities and the time that I myself was told in 2000 that that I had to come into the open, into mass media to do mass healing in order to help out with the knowledge that was that is needed at this time. And so I thank you for listening to me. I'll be opening the Martin Luther King event tomorrow morning with another group of people, but I just love and enjoy being inspired and listening, and hope to hear some of your songs, Bunny, and grateful to you for all that you have said in behalf of love and leading the way as way showers and peacemakers.
Love to hear from you. Maybe one of your videos I can incorporate in the app somewhere if you'd like to share some of your teachings. I really envision a lot more people speaking even in the app than just me too. So there's room for everybody. So we'll see how this manifests. Thank you so much.
Yes.
You can
And actually, it feels like our circle, of course, we like to hear everyone's voices in the circle, but not always possible because of our constraints and what we promise to people. But it feels like the MLK days will just be an extension of this conversation, an extension of talking about the dreams and the possibilities that we have right before us now. So we want to
Beautiful.
thank you all for coming. If you want more possibility
Thank
of being in circle with Bunny, or, let's be at Martin Luther King and we'll see where the circle takes us. I like to say everything is in divine standard time. We're all on DST. So thank you for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone. Thank you, Bunny. So wonderful to meet you. Love you,
Great to
Kate.
meet you. Love you.
Everyone's
Kate, for
welcome to
bringing her to our
unmute.
circle.
Thank you,
so much.
Jerry,
Thank you, Bunny. Thank you, Kate.
Victoria.
Lovely to see all of you.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you, Noel.
Bye, bye,
Join us again
everyone.
next week.
Nitakiasi.